Bună tuturor, eu sunt LOCOTENENTRED și astăzi o să reacționez la The 6 Best Space Battle of All Time Ranking. Sincer, eu sunt mare fan a bătăliilor spațiale din filme, seriale, jocuri chiar. 1. În bătălie spațiale cu flote întregi și 2. În momentele când flote întregi apar de nicăieri pe post de întăriri. Dacă vă amintiți din sequel-uri din Star Wars la ultimul sequel, a fost groaznic, dar momentul când au venit navele acelea de nicăieri din hiperspațiu, apărând de nicăieri, ei bine, am aturat momentul ăla. Și a fost destul de epic, trebuie să recunoașteți de ce. Așa, deci hai să... Bine, nu știu ce are altă dată. Ender Game. Giant freaking robot.
Hollywood is always ready to throw money at superpowered slugfests or flashy gimmicks like time travel. But big-budget space battles are rarely attempted on screen. Good space battles can take many forms. They can be oversized, noisy fleet fights involving hundreds of ships, or quiet and cerebral tests of wills between two solitary commanders.
Cry havoc! And let's slip the dogs of war!
No matter the scale, great space combat always combines high stakes, clearly explained tactics, and superior special effects. This is Giant Freakin' Robot, and this is the ultimate ranking of the best space battles in science fiction.
Ia să vedem.
All right, buddy. Time to wash your mouth out with Gordon.
Orville.
The Orville delivers one of the biggest space battles ever seen on screen in the Season 2 episode Identity Part 2. The Kaylon fleet attacks Earth, but the Orville crew gets out a warning.
Magnify.
The Planetary Union is ready with a defense fleet, but is still hopelessly overmatched by the Kaylon. With the Union in trouble, the Krill show up to join the fight on their side.
Lone Soul Fighters!
Creating a battle between three species and hundreds of ships.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Pick a spot.
The only thing preventing this battle from ranking higher on this list is the lack of diversity among the types of vessels shown on screen. Seth MacFarlane's Orville team only uses 2 or 3 different types for each species. That's part of how they were able to make the ship battle so big, by limiting how many different varieties are involved. It's unlikely they could have pulled off something this big any other way, making it worth cutting that corner to create a battle at this scale.
Boom, bitch!
Trebuie să zic, pentru o copie Star Trek, The Orville a fost chiar decent. Și scena de luptă care a fost menționată a fost epică. Dar am observat că a zis o chestie, că sunt 3 specii. E greșit. The Orville e o copie Star Trek și evident povestea principală se învârte în jurul unei echipaj a unei federații sau alianțe de mai multe specii. În rest, da, a fost epic.
Full impulse power.
Un clasic. Wrath of Khan. Unul din cele mai bune filme Star Trek și unul din cele mai bune filme ever până în momentul actual.
Reliant is closing.
Everything that happens in Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan leads to the Matara Nebula. Admiral Kirk's heavily damaged Enterprise faces a ship captained by a brilliant madman who will stop at nothing until they're dead.
He tasks me, and I shall have him.
It's the perfect setup for the ultimate one-on-one starship battle, and decades later, no one has done it better.
Explain it to them.
The setting is beautiful and visually unique. The strategies involved are interesting, but also easy to understand.
This pattern indicates two-dimensional thinking.
Both commanders are in situations where they're asked to put into practice the lessons they should have learned throughout the course of the movie, bringing the movie's plot full circle.
Fire!
The battle is decided when Khan fails to adapt, while Kirk learns from his earlier mistakes, takes the advice of his officers, and wins. A win that costs him the life of his best friend.
Bring us in closer to the enemy.
How close?
Right down their throat.
Sincer, a fost o luptă genială, dar mă așteptam la mai multe, la bătălii de scară largă în acest ranking decât bătălii, efectiv bătălii simple. Nu zic că a fost genială bătălia, dar tu prefer scene de luptă cu sute de nave.
In the Season 3 episode Severed Dreams, after months of secrecy and rising tension, Babylon 5's Captain John Sheridan is forced to take a stand.
I promised Delenn that we would draw a line against the darkness no matter the cost.
Firar. Asta fiindcă mi-e lene să editez reclamele. Deja când mă share asta e Better Star Galactica, nu m-am uitat deși tot vreau să mă apuc, deci nu o să comentez această bătălie.
Now we know the cost.
That stand leads to immediate conflict. Two renegade destroyers arrive at Babylon 5 seeking refuge. Defying orders to surrender them, Sheridan announces Babylon 5's independence and braces for battle.
As of this moment, Babylon 5 is seceding from the Earth Alliance. We will remain an independent state until President Clark is removed from office.
Earth sends a task force to throw him and everyone who supports him in jail.
Jump gate activated. Here they come.
Battle ensues.
Launch fighters.
Babylon 5 launches its fighters and activates the defense grid. Explosions are everywhere. One of Babylon 5's ships, the Churchill, is critically damaged.
Hiroshi, get out of there! Get to the life pods!
Her captain chooses to sacrifice herself and her crew. One enemy destroyer remains, but Sheridan orders the station to focus its fire.
Fire! We promise safe passage to...
With the enemy fleet destroyed, Sheridan thinks the battle's over. It isn't.
Oh no.
New jump gates open. 3 more destroyers are bearing down on a now damaged and depleted Babylon 5. Sheridan and his crew brace for death. And that's when the Minbari arrive.
Only one human captain has ever survived battle with the Minbari fleet. He is behind me. You are in front of me. If you value your lives, be somewhere else.
Babylon 5's independence is solidified, and Earth's fleet, terrified of the Minbari's superior firepower, doesn't return.
Intensify forward fire!
Habar n-am despre ce a fost vorba. O să-mi trească să mă uit la Battlestar Galactica. Ba nu, era Firefly? Sau Babylon? Oricum toate nu le-am văzut aproape pe niciuna. Dar a fost impresionant, n-am ce zice. Și din ce am văzut părea și o serie destul de veche, deci și mai și. Un clasic, să fim serioși.
Star Wars set the standard for what a space battle could be with the Battle of Yavin in A New Hope. For Return of the Jedi, George Lucas used what he'd learned from that experience and topped it for the Battle of Endor. It helps that the stakes are high, but the battle is such a stunning technical achievement that its narrative importance is outweighed by the level of eye candy on display.
Fighters coming in.
The entire battle was done with practical effects, and it looks as good now as it did in 1983.
Red 3, Red 2, pull in. Got it.
Nu pot să nu fiu de acord. Arată genial până și în zilele moderne. Cred că arată mai bine decât anumite creații și producții din zile actuale moderne.
Dozens of highly detailed miniatures were used, the largest of which was a 6-foot-long model of a rebel medical frigate.
600 foot, 600 de picioare. Cât e asta în măsurători logice, adică metrice? Mă rog, aceeași lucru. Că idee, știu numai că măsurătoarea metrică se bazează pe bază 10, în timp ce măsurătoarea imperială sau cam așa se numește, se bazează pe picioare, care are în bază 6. Da, cred că așa se numește bază imperială, fiindcă vine de pe vremea Imperiului Britanic. 600 sau 6 picioare? Nu, bine, nu prea pare 600 de picioare, că 600 de picioare ar fi o clădire. Cred că are undeva în jur de 2 metri lungime.
So why isn't this battle ranked even higher? Impressive as it is, most of the fleet action takes place in the background and isn't the focus of what's happening.
We've got to give those fighters more time.
And while Admiral Akbar is iconic and Lando Calrissian leads the fighter squadron in its attack on the new Death Star,
Watch yourself, Wedge. 3 from above.
most of our main characters are busy elsewhere. Still, the stakes are high and most of these space battle scenes are so perfectly executed they've yet to be topped. Even in an era where CGI makes everything easier.
Yeah.
As an old saying,
Vă zic, bătălia asta va fi genială. Dar un mic comentariu la bătălia din Star Wars, Battle of Endor. Aș pune pe locul 2. Și bătălia asta care urmează să fie arătată din Star Trek aș pune pe 3. Sunt un fan mai mare Star Wars decât Star Trek. Deși cei doi rivali mereu s-au descurcat. Dar din păcate Star Trek nu mai e la același nivel ca Star Wars.
fortune favors the bold. Well, I guess we're about to find out.
Winning will only buy our heroes more death and war. Losing this conflict means losing everything. It happens in a Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode called Sacrifice of Angels, and it's the last of an interconnected 6-episode run in which every episode before it ended with "to be continued." Over 200 Federation starships and Klingon birds of prey engage an even bigger enemy fleet comprised of both Cardassian and Dominion ships.
It's the Klingons, sir. They're here.
Over the course of the episode's lengthy space battle sequence. It's something that wouldn't have been technologically possible to show on screen in the days of motion-controlled practical models. But Deep Space Nine began experimenting with using computer-generated effects for its space sequences back in Season 3. By the time Season 6 rolled around in 1997, they'd mastered it and grown so confident in their abilities that the show decided to do something new with their CGI technology. Sacrifice of Angels was the first Star Trek episode to exclusively use only computer-generated imagery. All that effort got us scenes like this.
Hey, pretty girl. I got a level 100.
Necromancer, the CP of 10 million. Are you shooting at?
Trebuie să recunosc, bătălia asta a fost genială. Și cred că, dacă nu înșel, și prima dată când vedem o astfel de luptă într-un război din Star Trek. Da, restul au fost bătălii de 2, poate 3 nave și văzute în principiu din puntea unei nave, respectiv Enterprise. Cred că asta e prima dată când avem o astfel de bătălie și dacă nu mă înșel, e și prima dată când un show, un serial, nu un film, a creat o astfel de bătălie făcută numai pe computere. Dar s-ar putea să mă înșel în această parte.
Sacrifice of Angels combined the incredible stakes the show had been building up for 6 episodes with amazing special effects to create the ultimate payoff for patient fans who'd been brought to a boiling point in the rising tension. The best space battle ever captured on screen happens in Season 3 of Battlestar Galactica.
Observ un tipar. Cred că am observat un tipar. Dar să vedem. Nu m-am uitat, deci nu știu să zic dacă chiar merită.
It's the culmination of a storyline 2 seasons in the making, the end result of months of mistakes and suffering by the show's characters. Getting to it cost Colonel Ty both his eye and his wife, and it cost Apollo his waistline. The colonists are trapped on a planet surrounded by Cylons.
They found us. They found us.
To save them, Admiral Adama grows a killer mustache and comes up with a plan that's as tactically brilliant as it is suicidal. Adama's assets are 2 undermanned battlestars and a resistance force on the ground. He orders Apollo to stay behind with the Battlestar Pegasus and the remnants of the colonial fleet, a hedge against failure.
You know the mission. You should also know there's only one way that this mission ends. And that's with the successful rescue of our people off of New Caprica.
Using Raptors and a series of drones, Adama fools the Cylons into thinking both the Pegasus and the Galactica have jumped into orbit.
Drone signatures match.
When they investigate, the Raptors flee, luring the Cylons away from their base stars and the planet. The stage is set.
All hands, brace for turbulence.
And then Adama does something so unthinkable it's been named the Adama Maneuver. He executes a hyperspace jump with an exit point inside the atmosphere of New Caprica. Jumping a ship inside an atmosphere is viewed as suicide, but Adama does it. The Galactica begins falling immediately, burning up as it drops.
Well, it's not any different.
The Battlestar launches all of her fighters in mid-fall, wreathed in fire and plummeting towards her doom. The Adama Maneuver is the only way to rescue their people on the ground from Cylon forces. Galactica's fighters go to work strafing Cylon ground troops, clearing a path for the civilians. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking. Galactica must jump back out of the atmosphere before she crashes into the ground.
Jump!
She does. The Galactica, now in orbit around the planet, is heavily damaged and without fighter support. Her job is to keep the Cylon base stars busy long enough for the ground-based colonials to escape. 2 base ships are closing in, and 2 more have just jumped into orbit.
Jump drives!
On her own, the Galactica might have been able to hold off 2. 4 is hopeless.
It's been an honor.
Admiral Adama and his crew are ready to die. And that's when the Pegasus arrives. Apollo, unwilling to stand by and watch his father commit suicide, has violated his orders.
Galactica Pegasus, let us take some of this work off your hands. Get your FTL up and ready and we'll take care of the rest.
He brings the Pegasus into the battle. Pegasus is a newer Battlestar and totally undamaged.
Pegasus is taking a hell of a pounding, sir. I don't think she has a single plane in here.
Lee left all of his planes to guard the civilian ships.
She lays into the Cylon base stars with gusto, ripping them to shreds and prying them off the back of the wounded Galactica. The Galactica crew scrambles to get the ship's jump drive back online, while Pegasus faces 4 Battlestars. It's too much for her. After Apollo and his crew abandon ship, Pegasus rams a base star, destroying them both and buying everyone time to escape. Galactica and the Colonials are saved, but at tremendous cost. What's your favorite sci-fi space battle? Roll the hard 6 and let us know in the comments.
Sometimes you have to roll the hard 6.
And if you liked this video,
deci, ca să înțeleg, tot video-ul ăsta a fost făcut numai ca să convingă lumea să se uite la Battlestar Galactica, cel puțin cei care nu s-au uitat, fiindcă pe mine m-a convins. Dar, cam atât cu acest episod. Eu am fost Locotenentrед și vă zic pa, pa, până data viitoare. Pa, pa!